Omicrons are massive game changers in Galaxy of Heroes. They make real tangible differences in GAC, in Territory Wars, and yes, there's Padawan Obi-Wan in Conquest as well. Now, I just put out a video that went over the first 10 Omicrons that people should be getting for new player accounts, and I thought it would be good to follow up that video by showing how to maximize your Omicron income. Let's break this down. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if I was to pop onto my main account and check out how many Omicrons I have, I've got what one might consider to be a healthy stockpile of Omicrons. But let it be clear, I am an endgame player and I am a whale, and both of those things combined tend to result in an overflow of many materials in this game, and Omicrons is one of them. However, with that being said, I would think it would be remiss of me not to show you all the very good sources that you can get Omicrons for that will cost you no money. I will be talking about a few locations where you can spend some money to earn some additional Omicrons and which ones you should probably avoid, but this is going to be a free-to-play first approach. So, where is the first place that we can get them? Truth be told, Weekly Shipments has got one Omicron available every week. Now, I will say that this is an expensive Omicron to purchase because it requires you to be using Get 3 currency, and it requires 3,750 Get 3 for just one lonely Omicron mat. This is not a cost-effective way of doing it. However, if you are in a guild that has got a high level of Get 3 income and you are towards the further end of the game, this is a good space to sell any Get 3 currency that you are not necessarily spending elsewhere. Now, it is worth saying that this does come with a trade-off. People can spend this Mark 3 currency elsewhere, like on micro attenuators, which I always do, or if you are still struggling with the Chirotech grind, people will be wanting to spend their Get 3 here rather than elsewhere. That is absolutely true. I doubt many people are buying this Chiari Mundi, and dear Lord CG, you really need to lower the cost of this. Either add a 0 to that Chiari Mundi shard or half the cost at the very least, because this is ridiculous. So step 1, you can get them from Weekly Shipments. The best place to be purchasing them, though, is from Episode Shipments. In order to get them from Episode Shipments, you need to be earning episode currency, which you will do organically as you progress through your various episode track levels. And that's perfectly possible to get to level 50 on a free-to-play account. I did it just recently on my 8-month-old free-to-play account, hit level 50, got the Lightspeed token, and earned myself a decent amount of episode currency as a result. Now, you will be able to purchase up to 5 Omicrons a week from this store for the low cost of 1,600 episode currency per Omicron. If you really do want to maximize your income, you will want to dedicate a lot of your currency to this. Now, if you have not bought the episode pass, which we will talk about a little bit in a moment, you are going to have to make some sacrifices here. Either you will have to choose to very rarely get FDCs, which is, it can be good or bad. For example, the Wampa FDC is totally worthwhile getting, and so is the Rolo FDC. Those are high value purchases that everybody should consider getting. However, you are also sacrificing other areas, such as your ability to gain Chirotech inputs. Now, you'll have to make that choice yourself, whether you feel like it is more worthwhile for you to be investing in Chirotech, or if it is more worthwhile for you to be investing in Omicrons. Generally speaking, I like to go for a top-heavy approach, whereby we try to maximize the amount that one team can do, rather than constantly farming Chirotech so that you're building up more teams as you go. But that's always going to be a judgment call based on your own appetites and desires in the game and your position within the game as it stands. There are a few other really useful things to be purchasing through your episode currency as well that you'll have to consider putting to one side, such as mod slicing materials and micro attenuators, and potentially some relic data or relic materials as it stands. But generally speaking, this is the best place to be getting Omicron materials because you can get a hefty chunk of them without having to spend any money. Now, the final shipment area that you can purchase Omicrons through is through the Legend Tokens shipments. Now, this one is a little bit tricky because the only way you can earn Legends tokens is from the Ultimate Journey event that happens at the end of every conquest, so you can expect it to be there essentially once a month. It is is tied directly to how many galactic legends that you have. We can actually see the event right now because it is about to come up over here in 7 short hours. For every GL in the game, there is an Ultimate Journey event, essentially. There is a short battle that you can refresh, I believe, for 250 crystals. Each time you are able to pass a galactic legend event within the Ultimate Journey, you will earn yourself 300 legend tokens. It is up to you then to spend those on Omicron abilities. Now, personally, this is the only thing I spend my Omicron abilities, and to a certain degree, it is worth refreshing that event because essentially what you're doing is paying 500 crystals for 1 Omicron. Now, you do have to be careful. Don't over refresh, because you can say you've got all GLs in the game and you keep on refreshing. You can actually get to a point where you are not able to spend all your currency before the next one comes along. However, that is easier rectified by just not refreshing those Ultimate Journey events so much when it comes around next time. There is never really truly a waste over here. Now, obviously, there are other things that you can spend your hard-earned currency on. You know, some really good conquest units, for example, to try and elevate or increase the pace at which you can unlock some of these very difficult conquest units to unlock. However, Omicrons are still, in my opinion, the best place to spend that currency. Now, next up, you can actually earn Omicrons through using your Cantina energy. There is a clause on this, and it is twofold, I'm very sorry to say. First and foremost, it's only available on 3 of the Cantina energy battles, okay? And that's going to be all of those that give us relic signal data. In the very last tier, essentially, where there is 16 energy nodes for our, it's our fragmented signal data, our incomplete signal data, and our flawed signal data. Each one of those nodes has a chance to drop Omicron materials. The second clause is the drop rate is abysmally low. You can go weeks without seeing a single drop, and then occasionally you'll get like 3 in 1. It's really ridiculous. It can happen, right? So I wouldn't say that this method of getting Omicrons is a reliable or dependable way of earning them. However, it does reinforce positive behaviors in this game. Everybody that is able should be trying to refresh their Cantina energy 3 times a day, every day, if you have that crystal income to support it. It is the most expensive energy type to refresh, without a doubt. However, it is probably the most important. Specifically, when you get to the later game and you are done with all your shard farming on various characters, you don't often get characters go to Cantina energy because they're very, very quick to farm. Once you're done with all that, the only thing worth using that energy on is farming signal data, and you will never, ever have enough signal data. I am endgame at this point, and I still need to have signal data constantly because we are always plowing that into increasing the relic levels of new marquees, new legendaries, epic confrontations, and galactic legends. All of them require lots and lots of signal data, and I can only see that requirement increasing over time, not decreasing over time. So either way, you're going to want to be spending a lot of your Cantina energy here on a daily basis. You'll be getting the odd occasional Omicron just from farming up your signal data. So before we go any further, I just want to give a quick shout out to all my viewers at home. Thank you so much for watching this video. Now, if you see this metric just over here, you'll notice that 50% of everybody watching this video right now is not subscribed and is missing out on really good future informational videos like this. So if you can do yourself a favor and do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Next up, I want to talk about the importance of the episode track, okay? Not necessarily the episode pass. That is a very important thing, and it has value outside of the Omicrons that you can earn from it. But just by completing the free track of the episode pass is actually going to give you 4 Omicrons. Now, that is important, but more important, I would argue, is the fact that it actually gives you the necessary episode currency that you get that you can then use within the episode shipments to purchase yourself an additional 20 Omicron mats every single month. Every 28 days, if you are completing this track, you will earn, I think it's about 44,000, or is it 24,000? I think it's 44,000 episode points, which you can then use and buy all the Omicron mats every single week from the store. You will get, like I said, an additional 4 just from completing this track. Now, seeing as though we are here and we are talking about the episode track, I will at this point mention the actual premium track that you can purchase. Okay, so every 28 days you can get the episode pass over here. It is $20 a month or 20 GBP. I'm not sure what it is in other currencies. It might be a little bit higher in euros, not sure. For that, you get an additional track and many additional rewards. As it stands currently, it gives you access to a lot more episode experience points, essentially, or episode points, which help gain you additional levels in this pass. So it helps you level up faster, which does have a benefit long term. Also gives you access to 20 shards of each marquee that happens within that era. So as we get a marquee every 2 weeks, every month, essentially for that $20, you will be getting 20 shards of 2 brand new marquee characters, which is very valuable and plays into another source of Omicrons just in a moment. It also gives you a boatload, over twice as much additional episode currency, so you can have a lot more freedom to purchase the things that you want to purchase within the episode store. Maybe you need more chirotech, maybe you want more mod slicing materials, maybe you want more relic materials, maybe you even want to purchase some of the shards that can be purchased from the episode currency. But you also do straight up get an additional 8 Omicron materials. So combine that with the 4 from the free track, you're getting 12 Omicron materials in any 28 days, a boatload of additional currency, and a fast way of earning additional XP for the episode pass. That also translates into additional episode currency whenever you get an extra level once you've completed the track. So you've completed all 50 levels. Every time you get 5,000 episode points after you've completed the track, you're going to be earning more and more episode currency. That episode currency gives you more freedom. As you can see, I've got 88,000 currency at this point. Honestly, I'm at the point where I'm running out of things to spend it on. But the episode pass itself, I will say, guys, it's probably the best recurring payment you can make in the game. It's better than the conquest pass. It gives you such good rewards. Similarly, I can't really show it to you right now, but the Conquest Pass does have an additional track of rewards, which can reward you with a small amount of Omicrons. I only think it's about two Omicrons. It's not the best source for Omicron materials, but it's still a very worthwhile purchase if you can stomach that additional expense of £10 every month. Now, as we were talking about marquee events and how you can gain 20 shards from that purchase of the episode pass of a character, you can actually get additional Omicrons just for getting a character up to 5 stars. So in order to get to 5 stars, obviously, you will either need to purchase character packs outright, or you will need to spend your crystals on marquee packs in the hopes of getting a big drop. Now, you could just do the 5-pack or the 12 pull. That would cost, 6,000 and 13,000 crystals respectively, in the hopes of gaining your sufficient enough shards to get them to 5 stars. I can't show it here because it is a first time bonus, but essentially if you get this tier over here, you will get yourself a one-time drop essentially of 2 additional Omicron materials. Now at the very last tier as well, there are additional Omicrons if you get that character to Relic 5, and that gives you 4 more Omicron materials. Now this is very much far more focused on endgame players that either have a large stock of crystals that they're able to spend on marquee packs, or those people that wail a little bit or a lot a bit on getting things like marquee packs and investing in actual cash money equivalents. Maybe you're doing like the ascension packs for characters. And those are other areas of the game which can give you additional Omicrons occasionally. It really depends on what CG is peddling. Now, you will occasionally find big whale packs like this. Now, personally, I always advocate to stay away from these sorts of packs. These are outlandishly expensive packs. You don't want to be spending nearly $100 getting yourself 25 Omicron materials. Granted, you do get other things as well, 30 Zeta mats and 50 Omega materials, and you get some credits, which is really nominal. You get some signal data, but it's a bit low end. This to me is outside of my personal appetite. I wouldn't even dream about it. Now, you can occasionally see an Omicron specific pack, which I believe is about £30 for it's either 10 or 20 Omicrons. That's still on the expensive side. However, occasionally you will get ability ascension packs. And those ability ascension packs are often, they're about £30, and I think they can get you like 20 to 30 Omicrons. Those are pretty good value if you're really looking to invest in those ability packs, because they also give you a good chunk of Omicrons, Zetas, and Omega mats. So that is a consideration to have. So I've just jumped over onto my alt account to show you what you can also get when you purchase one of these packs. So if you were to purchase a new Marquee pack for 30 shards, you will actually get 5 Omicron materials as part of it. Now, typically speaking, I wouldn't really recommend $30 for 5 Omicrons. It's not a lot. You should only be doing this if you are actually actively looking to get new characters done. Don't forget, this will feed into helping you get to 4 stars, 5 stars, that sort of thing, which also gives you a few more Omicron materials as a consequence of it. The new Marquee structure is very much easier than it used to be to whale on characters, but I'm not sitting here espousing the benefits of trying to whale out on new characters. That's very much only a personal choice for yourselves. I'm just trying to show you where you can get these additional Omicrons. Now, finally, there is one lesser known area in which you can get Omicrons, and that's actually from the Kessel run. This is the weekly store, essentially, that exists for this game that people should be logging into every day. Whenever you go into the web store, I have this as part of just my morning routine at this point. I log into the game, I do my dailies, I log into the web store. You can gain yourself free shards. There's these free gifts over here. It gives you like a random pull of a bunch of different characters, giving you 5 shards and some materials and stuff like that. You'll occasionally see weekly calendars here as well, which are absolutely free, that give you stuff like Zeta materials. I'll show you that in 1 second. But also, as part of the Kessel run, when you come in here every single day, you can gain yourself a free energy boost, which gives you 100 energy for free. That's really, really useful for free-to-play accounts. Helps with the farming. It's essentially a 50 crystal refresh every single day for your normal energy. But this coaxium heist here, which you gradually work on as you go through the month, can actually earn you a whole Omicron material. Isn't that nice? It's just something that comes as a consequence of logging in daily, doing your objectives, but also it's boosted by whenever you spend money. So in particular, if you are considering, say, dropping $30 on a character, don't know what's happened there. Let's try that again. So say you are considering buying a Marquee pack for a character. For example, you got Jod Nanawood or Captain Silvo over here. You can buy his pack through the web store. Now, it is 5% cheaper in the PC client. However, if you purchase this through the web store, you actually get yourself 3,000 coaxium, okay? And that coaxium helps you go down that coaxium path. Personally, of my opinion, I would rather not save the 5% on the PC store, get the 3,000 coaxium over here so that I can then get myself a big boost in levels over here. You can see 3,000 coaxium would get me, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, nearly 5 levels on the coaxium heist, getting me some additional crystals, getting me Omega materials, getting me credits, getting me additional coaxium as a consequence, actually, Zeta mats, and eventually working towards getting Omicron materials. So if you are thinking about spending money, I do recommend you actually do it through the web store, because you're going to get yourself a little bit more benefit on the side, far more than the 5% saving you would otherwise earn, because we know that some of these packs just cost stupid money, and saving 5% to spend it on this game anywhere else just wouldn't really give you the same value as what you can get through that coaxium heist. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now there are occasionally other packs that come through, other things like slicer bundles that can happen, and that sort of thing, you know, the Ascension packs, various ability material packs. I don't really want to go too deep into those, but what I would say is try not to spend more than, say, $1 per Omicron. Most of these packs, if you're specifically looking for Omicrons, most of these packs are not going to be that good value. A lot of them are going to be far higher than that ratio. If you can see some of the Ascension packs, that still puts you on roughly $1 to $2 per Omicron material, you're usually going to be okay. You'll have to make that judgment based on whatever else is in those packs. But I don't necessarily recommend it, and you don't actually need to be spending money in order to get a good chunk of Omicron materials. The big thing is focus on finishing that episode pass. That's going to give you access to, at the very least, a whole Omicron a month if you are spending your episode currency purchasing it from the episode shipment store. Booyah! That's going to about do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. If you could hit a like and a subscribe, I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.